Hello, welcome to Luna Bird Book Club. My name's Cathy and today I have for you a haul of books from a second-hand bookshop. So a couple of weeks ago I went to my new favourite bookshop, which is the Burnley Market bookstall. It is a tiny little stall right in the middle of Burnley Market Hall, and it is so small and yet so absolutely completely full of books. It's just a brilliant place to go and have a really good route around, and every single book in there is just £1, and I absolutely love it. There are books piled on the floor, there are books piled on shelves, there's books on like the shelves on the inner bit and on the outer bit of the stall, and it's all run with like an honesty box system. It's very, very cute, and there are so many excellent books in there that it's really hard to just come away with a few. So it's my new favourite place to be. And I went there a couple of weeks ago because I'd got to the end of my TBR and I needed some books to read, so a perfect excuse to go and have a haul. And I came away with as many books as I could carry in my handbag, which was this many. And I thought I'd just come on and really quickly tell you about them. And it's going to have to be quick because I only have 5% of battery on this camera. So let's do this. Okay, first of all, I have C.S. Lewis Surprised by Joy, which is C.S. Lewis giving the story of his life and about how he came to faith. I've read biographies of C.S. Lewis before, and I've read quite a lot of his works, but I've not read this one, and so I was really excited to read it. And the only thing I know about this book is that it's called Surprised by Joy, and that is kind of a reference to how he was the last person he thought would ever become a Christian. And one of the things that surprised him most about the faith was that it was full of joy. But it also has a double meaning because quite late in his life, he married a woman called Joy and found great happiness with her. And that's just a beautiful love story. So I'm really looking forward to reading this and hearing about C.S. Lewis's life story in his own words. Another book I picked up was The Whalebone Theatre. I actually know very little about this, apart from I think I saw it recommended online a couple of years ago by quite a number of people, and it just has a kind of vibes I'm interested in. A bit of theatre, an old English manor house, and then I think a whale that gets drifted ashore. Is that what it is? Oh yeah, a whale washes up on a beach whose bones are claimed by a 12-year-old girl with big ambitions and an even bigger imagination. That's from the blurb, and that's enough to draw me in, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. Then I got Daisy Jones and the Six. This has obviously been everywhere last few years, and there's an Amazon TV series. In fact, normally I would never pick up a book where the cover tied into a TV series and it has a sticker about the TV series that you can't come off because it's actually part of the cover. That is so annoying. But I thought, you know what? It's only £1 and I'm only reading it out of curiosity to see what the hype's about. Does it matter if I don't love the cover? Not really. And I've actually read this. And in fact, I read it in about 3 days because I could not put it down. It's like listening in on internet drama when you get the first-hand scoop of what was actually going on from the people involved. It's about a rock band forming and collapsing in the 70s. It's definitely got Fleetwood Mac vibes and kind of like a tell-all interview style. And in fact, the book is comprised as if it's a series of interviews with the band members that have been edited together. So it's really, really compelling. There are some really feisty characters in here that you begin to root for. I particularly love the character of Camilla. And I really, really enjoyed it. So I'm glad that I've picked this up. I don't think it's one that I'll keep and reread a lot, but I have already told my mum that I think she would like it, and I'm going to pass it on to my mum tomorrow, which is why I'm filming this tonight before the book departs the house. The other book that I've got that is going to go to my parents' house tomorrow is The Know-It-All. I'm going to pass this on to my dad, which now sounds like I'm making a little jibe at my dad. I'm not. It's just that I love this and I think he would like it too. It's a memoir of a guy who spent a year of his life trying to read the whole encyclopedia. I want to do a longer book review of this because I really, really enjoyed it. And I want my dad to read it because when I was growing up, he also had the encyclopedia in our house. I remember it on his bookshelves in the study, all these big red volumes packed full of knowledge, and a few times I picked it up and tried to read it from A to Z, and honestly I don't think I got any further than reading the chapter on abbots and learning about monks, so I never got that far with it. But this is very witty, very funny, and I'm so glad I picked it up, and I think my dad will enjoy it too, so that's also going to my parents' house tomorrow. Then I also got Unruly by David Mitchell. I listened to the audiobook of this last year and absolutely loved it. I mean, I think it probably helped that it was David Mitchell himself narrating the book, because he just obviously got his tone right and his humour came across really, really well. And I thought it was an excellent book about the history of the kings and queens of Great Britain. And it was also surprisingly sincere and hopeful and had a lot of compassion in it. You know, David Mitchell's known for being quite a scathing comedian, and he's very good at making fun of the pompous and, you know, maybe a bit cynical at times, but there's a real heart in this story and a great affection for people, great and not great alike, and he really brings out the humanity in history, and I really appreciated that. So I thought I would like to have my own copy of this book to keep and have on the shelf and one day revisit, so I was really glad to get that. And then the final book in this haul is Woman in the Library, which I just started yesterday. I think this is going to be very interesting. It's about an author writing a book about a murder happening in a library, and also about somebody who is stalking that author. That's what I believe it's about, but it's a really interesting setup in that the chapters are alternating. So one chapter would be a letter from the stalker to the author, and at the beginning it sounds like it's not really a stalker and an author at this point. They're like pen pals who write about writing, and the writer of the letter is telling the author of how they're struggling writing their own book and they keep getting distracted, and they're trying to write in Boston Public Library, but they were distracted by the beautiful ceiling and weren't really writing. And then the next chapter is a chapter from the author's book that she's writing, and it begins with an author or a young writer in Boston Library getting distracted by the beautiful ceiling and not writing. So the author is getting inspiration from these letters and turning it into a murder mystery book. And then the stalker is writing letters and reviewing the chapters that the author's sending them. And then I think these two storylines are going to come together and the line between them is going to be blurred. So it's kind of going to be an interesting mystery to unravel, because there's going to be letters that imply stuff's going on behind the scenes, and chapters of a book within a book that are also going to hint at things going on behind the scenes. And yeah, I don't really know where it's going to go, but I'm enjoying it so far and it's really fun. Okay, so the battery really is going now. So that's my book haul from the secondhand bookshop. I'm really happy with it. I can't wait to finish these and go back and get some more. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. See you next time. Bye. Got a really noisy crow or rook behind me. Oh, and a cat. Maybe that's why the bird was being noisy.